This is Mr. Stephen Hanson, number 14 on the calendar.
Thank you. Mr. Hanson, did you discuss your constitutional rights with Ms. Milne?
I did, Your Honor.
Any questions for me about those rights?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Milne, any objection to probable cause?
We would have no objection to probable cause for purposes of today's hearing only. However, in my review for probable cause, it's come to my attention that it's possible that the parties may need clarification on what constitutes acceptable communication regarding the children. This particular exchange was about rent because Mr. Hanson has sole custody of the children right now. So in his view, I think that it is very possible that this was a communication about the children. So I would just ask that there be some clarification as well on what does and does not constitute communication about the children for purposes of that exception.
All right, thank you. And for that purpose, I can't tell you because the order is out of Superior Court. So that's going to be a question for Superior Court to answer. And I can't even see the terms of the order. So all I know is the existence of the order. And what are the allegations here?
The allegation is just via DVVNCO. Apparently, Mr. Hanson is alleged to have sent the victim several texts that are in violation of the protection order. The protection order does allow for text electronic communication about the children. However, these texts were about rent, mediation, topics that are not related to each other.
Technically, state's belief is that do you have the specific language in the order?
I can get it out here in a moment. No contact, exception. All right, the exact language in the exception box of the NCO, Your Honor. Only this type of contact is allowed to effectuate residential time/exchanges between the party based on any current residential schedule/parenting plan in the party's family law case.
That's it.
That's all that I have.
Okay. It does seem like the texts alleged to have been sent are outside of that one fairly narrow restriction. So I'll find probable cause on the charge. I don't know if Mr. Hanson was represented in Superior Court on that issue or not, but he may want to get some clarification about contact for financial reasons. But for purposes of the criminal charge, it does sound like there's a basis for probable cause, and I'll make such a finding. And you own a coffee shop, but you're only taking $1,000 a month out, Mr. Hanson, is that right?
Well, I had to close the coffee shop, Your Honor, because my wife was dealing drugs out of it. So I had to get a restraining order against her. And then she turned around and got one against me. So the coffee shop is closed. I have no income at this time.
I will appoint counsel to represent you. Since you're clearly capable of earning income, I will order that you pay $25 up to pay taxpayer expense of providing service of counsel. And Mr. Lingren states position on release.
Your Honor, the state is seeking PR release with no criminal law violations and abide by the existing NCO.
Okay. And Ms. Milne, anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor. We would obviously have no objection to those conditions.
All right, thank you. And I will authorize your release today, Mr. Hanson. Conditions of that release are obey the existing no contact order, and you may have to go to Superior Court if you have questions on the restrictions or the exceptions indicated there.
Your Honor.
And you're due back before this court on Wednesday, the 14th of May at 8:30 in the morning for arraignment on the protection order violation charge. So I'm sure Ms. Milne has told you, but reach out to Thurston County Public Defense next week. Have a good conversation with an attorney prior to that date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Hanson wants to say something. Ms. Hanson, you can activate your audio and video. I'm going to tell you, you can't say anything because I can't do anything about the protection order. It's there and it's out of Superior Court, so I can't make any adjustment to it. You're muted, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, that's not what happened. So Stephen had an affair with an employee. My husband had an affair with an employee and put a false protection order on me. And then we went to court and I got a protection order against him. And as you can see in the past, he has a felony for strangulation and trying to kill me. He's been abusive my entire relationship with him, and he's not thinking correctly. He's burning bridges with everyone around him, as well as our landlord, telling my family to die a miserable death. This is not normal behavior. And he has an alcohol problem. I've been in recovery for 1.5 years.
Okay.
Have not been dealing
Okay.
drugs, and I got
Go on
my
that end.
his protection drop
I'm on court
or
right now. Go
protection
on that
order
end.
was dropped because he was full of shit, like he always is. He's a narcissist and he's dangerous. He needs to be put away. He's gonna hurt someone else. He's got a
right.
metal bat by our front door.
Okay,
He's not safe. And I have the kids.
all right. Thank you, Ms.
It's not
Hanson.
okay.
Mr. Lingren, has your office had contact with Ms. Hanson?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor, no.
Okay, so what you're hearing for the first time,
Yes.
that change your position on release?
I apologize, Your Honor. Give me just one moment. So, get up to speed.
They're getting me an advocate.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to, the state will be asking for, instead of PR release, the state will be seeking $5,000 bail.
Is there a DV advocate assigned to the DV unit these days?
No, Your Honor, I'm really not sure at this point. I'm just going off of the criminal history that I'm
Right.
seeing.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So you don't know the answer to that?
I don't know.
Usually, when we had DV advocates, they would have all this information and you would have had it prior to the hearing. I think it's, as I understand, that was cut, but I wasn't sure. Ms. Milne, Mr. Lingren's changed his recommendation to the court. You want to make comments on that?
Yes, Your Honor, I would once again ask for Mr. Hanson to be released on his own recognizance. As I mentioned, at a minimum, they are sharing custody of the children, as is evidenced by the no contact order. I would also object to facts that are not being alleged or as part of any sort of allegation here to be used to justify keeping Mr. Hanson in custody, particularly when, as you mentioned and as state mentioned, there has been no threatening exchange. The exchange was about rent and some other matters related to the relationship, but they weren't violent exchanges. There's nothing to suggest here in this case that there's any sort of concern for the safety of the Hansons, and I would just ask that Mr. Hanson be released on his own recognizance.
Thank you. All right, looking back at the assault 3, Ms. Hanson was indeed the victim of that. I see that there was at that time a protection order entered and have been subsequent protection orders entered over time. Yeah, on this one, I'm going to agree with Mr. Lingren. The concern there, based on what I've heard from Ms. Hanson and also looking at the criminal history with a really serious domestic violence charge conviction, I think bail is warranted, even though there's an argument as to how the nature of this particular allegation doesn't appear threatening, but the mere act of violating an order can send a message. So bail will be $5,000, cash or bond. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.